First of all, folks, Gurmai was on the hat like Kellen and Shaw to Luher Arinya, Golchiv and then Wally and Shaw on Okaj Shaw Academy. We are very delighted and proud here in St. Catherine's College that the Minister has chosen to come here to launch Erasmus Plus and to spread the good word about Erasmus Plus to all schools throughout the north of Ireland. So Gurmai and John has hacked and shot on you. And our other guest this morning, Berndatte McAlliskey, went to Queen's University, studied first of all in St. Patrick's Girls' Academy in Dungannon, studied psychology at Queen's where she became involved in the civil rights movement. Later went on and was elected at the age of 21 to become the youngest MP to the House of Commons. Why did this fan show up? Obviously, Chad, on the Valley, on Idai, Sister Florence, many thanks for Skyping in with us this morning. You're an old friend of ours. We've Skyped with you on several occasions now, but just to fill in our audience who don't know, you are originally one of the superiors who worked in France. You're an engineer by trade, I believe. You spent 3 months recently in Rome learning Italian, and now you have been posted, I could say, to Sicily, where you're working with the migrants who are coming across from North Africa. Minister, I'd like to come to you first of all. Given the debate that's going on around the migration crisis within Europe, is Europe in disarray? Is the Schengen Agreement, is it going to be cast out? Is Europe falling apart?
Well, the question is it migration or is it a crisis caused by the impact of Western policies in the Middle East, North Africa, etc. And we're actually dealing with as refugees. People who are fleeing conflict, people who are fleeing war zones, and wars and conflicts that are largely are not of their making. So is Europe in disarray? No, Europe's not in disarray. Europe as a European Union is more than capable of assisting and dealing with the refugees that are seeking to come to their shores. The question is Europe as a state, as a European state, prepared to assist those refugees? And unfortunately, the leadership of many of the countries shows that they're not. And when we look at the leadership in Britain, in particular, it shows that they're certainly not interested in assisting refugees fleeing from war zones, which Britain's policies and the United States and other Western empires have caused. I read a recent article, a very interesting article, which says that the current refugee crisis can be traced back to the first Iraq War. And indeed, you can maybe trace it back to the Second World War, or the First World War, when all the boundaries were drew in around the Middle East and nations created out of maps by Westerners. So yes, I think Europe is more than capable of dealing with the refugee crisis if the political will and the humanitarian will is there to do so. Unfortunately, I don't think the political will is there to do so.
And Berndatte, you've been working on the ground for a large number of years in South Tyrone. Do you see a big difference in the types of refugees or migrants who are coming to our shores now compared to the kind of migrants who originally came to this area, Lurgan, Portadown, who came to South Tyrone maybe 10 or 15 years ago?
Well, I think as John says, first of all, what we have to be clear about is, who are the new people who are joining us? And we're obsessed with categorising people, but sometimes that's the way the legislation works. So people who are called migrants, I don't like the word because it sounds like vagrant. I just don't like it because it sounds like vagrant, and it gives you an impression of somebody wandering about, not really doing anything. But migrants are people who have a fundamental human right and a fundamental legal right within the broad European Union to exercise free movement across the European borders. So any of you young people, if you want, when you leave school, and you can go to France or Germany, anywhere you like, get on the EasyJet, go there, look for work, pay your taxes, and enjoy the quality of life in Germany or France, as other people can do here. These people are called economic migrants. They are exercising their freedom and their fundamental human and legal right of freedom of movement. Then you have other people who are forcibly displaced from the homes they want to live in. They're not moving by choice. People are not getting up in the morning in Syria or Afghanistan and saying, do you know what? My life will not be complete until I reach the Mall in Armagh. That's what I'll do today. I'll start a journey to the United Kingdom, to Ireland, to Northern Ireland, and then all my problems will be solved. These are human beings who are forced out of the homes they want to live in by circumstances they did not create. And I agree totally with John that grouping of people that we see in large numbers the numbers have been exacerbated by the behaviour of the United States, the UK and other Western governments in the countries in which they live. And the motivation for most of that is not humanity, but the price of oil. And it is the price of oil that is driving, and the need to own what oil is left, and the need to control what oil is left. So I agree with John, we don't have a problem. When I see people coming into Dungannon, most of the people you see in Armagh, most of the newcomer people you see around town and everywhere else are economic migrants. They have come here through a straightforward procedure. They are working, they are earning their living, and they are contributing socially, culturally and economically as active citizens to this society. We have very, very few refugees because the process of getting the status of refugee is long and arduous, and many people wait for many, many years to be given a status of a refugee.
Berndatte, I'll just bring in Florence now. She's actually working, with people who are coming on doing their first steps on European soil where she is now. She's actually at the coalface. And Florence, the Minister alluded to there the fact that Europe was well fit and well disposed to deal with the migration crisis into Europe. How do you see the situation on the ground in Sicily? Is the Italian government well set up in order to cope with the vast amounts of people who are coming across the Mediterranean?
We have a lot of migrants, but economic migrants here. And these people, they are coming or they are crossing the sea and the Mediterranean because they are looking for a better life. And the story that we are listening are really the story of the journey. And the journey has been terrible for them. Very often, sometimes it can be even 2 years to arrive to Sicily, to arrive to Europe. And in these 2 years, they have been through a very, very difficult time. And the worst is in living. And I cannot believe that these people went through such journey and such suffering if it was not necessary for their life. And really, even if they are coming for economic reasons, because most of them, they are coming from Africa, but Mali, Senegal, and Ivory Coast, and we can say people, these countries are not always in war, but they are coming because they want a better life and they want to work. And I cannot believe that they have suffered so much during the journey, but it's not to save their life. It's really to save their life.
And Florence, is the Italian government set up and able to cope with the amounts of people who are coming across to Sicily? Is there a joined up thinking in terms of an approach to deal with the migrant crisis?
They are very well, what I have seen is they are very well welcome. And really, Sicilian people are welcoming them very, very, very well. Everybody, the family, the village, everybody is trying to do something for them, except in some places. There is always people for whom it's more difficult. But at the same time, I will say it's not in the south of Italy, it's not in Sicily that they will find a job. So we know, I know, and people know that the migrants will not stay in Sicily. They will go to the north. And they cannot move because they don't have paper, because they are not registered and everything. But we know that they are not going to stay. Even if Italy is doing the best that they can do to welcome them and to welcome them.